Hey everybody, Chuck back. First, let me apologize for being gone so long. We had a little bit of a disaster here at my house. We had some pipes break and water all over the place, and we've been through several weeks of drying out and tearing stuff out, and because it's an old house, asbestos abatement, and we've had a lot of fun. It still isn't all back together yet, but we're in the putting it back together stage, I hope. Anyway, on to what I came here to do today. My wife asked me a while back if I could do something in 3D printing like this floral box. She wanted some type of, cool looking engraving on the outside of a box. And I told her, I have no clue if I can do anything like that or not. But I decided to see if I could. So I watched some videos and never really came up with anything I liked. So as usual, I decided just to start poking at it and see what I could figure out. Now, some of this is going to require a little bit of advanced use of a photo editing program and your 3D software like Fusion. In Fusion, you really need, if it's going to be two parts like a box, you really need to be able to know how to do assemblies and joints in Fusion. And there are some people on the internet giving tutorials for that. Some of them are very complex and go far beyond just making a simple box with one joint. But look around and look at those. If they don't make any sense to you, let me know, and I will make a simple tutorial on how to make like a simple assembly, like a box with a lid in Fusion. So first thing you have to do is find a floral pattern that you like for something like this, or any kind of a pattern. It doesn't have to be floral. And here's the one I decided on. It's pretty simple. It was on the internet in a bunch of different places. So I picked that one. Now, the next thing we're going to have to do, and let me show you the box I'm working on in Fusion. I still think I still have it open. Here it is here. And you can see I've already done it on a couple of the other sides, but and it's an assembly. It's not going to let me lift the top off for some reason, but man, not going to let me lift the top off today. Kind of hard to grab it. Oh well. Trust me, it's an assembly. There's a bottom and a top, and normally, oh, I'm in a sketch. That's why it won't let me do it. Haha. So now I should be able to lift the top off. There we go. It is an assembly. I do have movement limits set on how far it can move, so the lid can't go down fully into the bottom or up off the screen or anything like that. So this is what we're going to be working on here, the top and the bottom. And I'm just going to show you how to do one part of it because they're both the same. If I do anything here and you guys don't know the basics of it, again, let me know and I'll try and make a video just on that part. So we have our floral pattern. So let's come into, and I'm going to use two free programs here. Well, actually, Fusion 360 is free also if you're a student or a startup. So we're going to go to paint.net, and we're going to also use Inkscape. These are both free. So paint.net, and I'm going to open up that floral pattern that I liked. So open, and you can see I got a bunch of different ones here that I've sized, but let's start with this original one, and let me show you. Because one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to make the top and the bottom, I wanted the pattern on the lid to match the pattern on the bottom. And I wanted it to match no matter how I put the lid on. I didn't want there to have to be one special way to put the lid on. Well, this is a rectangular box, so it can only go on two ways. But if it was a square box, I'd want it to be able to go on any one of four ways and have it line up and look good. So the first thing we want to do, or what I did, is I kind of sized this to about what the box looks like. Now, when I was doing the long side of the box, I stretched this out. I'm doing the short side of the box now, and it's a little bit too much, but let's do it a little bit. Let's come in and say resize, and I'm going to say by percentage, and I am going to say, oh, I don't know, let's say by absolute size because I want to make it less tall than high. So let's say we're going to make the height 1,000, and we're going to leave, whoops, one more zero, and we're going to leave the width 1300. And we're going to uncheck maintain aspect ratio because I kind of want to do this to it a little bit, because that's about the aspect ratio of the side of my box. Now, if I was really doing this, I would probably trim it first so that I didn't scrunch it, but I'm not going to go into too much detail here. Here's the next part, how I got the top and the bottom to line up. I'm going to come over and I'm going to click on rectangle select, and I'm going to draw myself, let's draw what I think about where the lid is. So that's about the lid right there, and I'm going to say edit and, excuse me, image and crop to selection. So now I have the lid. I'm going to save this and I'm going to call it, short side lid, because that's what I want. And now I'm going to do Control Z to back up a step. Now I'm going to come and I'm going to say edit, and I think it's in edit here, and invert selection. So now it moves my selection to the bottom, but my cut line in the middle is in the exact same place. So now I'm going to once again say image and crop to selection, and now I'm going to save this and I'm going to call it short side bottom, or long side bottom if I had made it for the long side, and I'm going to save it. Now I have a bottom and a top, and I know those two pieces, I know the pattern matches on them exactly. So now what I'm going to do, I could size this in here too more, but to be honest, I have had better luck doing it in Inkscape. And Inkscape is one of those programs that I've come to love to hate, or hate to love, I'm not sure which, because it's very quirky on my computer. And I have a 1-year-old AMD Ryzen 1700 computer, and it's pretty fast. It's got a lot of memory, it's got, SSD drives, but Inkscape is kind of a little bit flaky. But anyway, it works, and it's free. I like free. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize paint.net, and I'm going to bring up Inkscape. So I'm going to bring in that piece that I had previously made for that short side bottom of the box. So I'm going to say File and Open. Now also, I don't only have to have this sized, I've got to have it in SVG format, because I can't put a Jpeg in 360 on a surface and use it to extrude. I have to have an SVG. Now, there are online converters for SVG. My favorite one will let you do 10 of them in a day before it wants you to pay for it. And you know what? I've said it before, I'm a capitalist at heart, but I'm not going to pay for something when I can get it for free. So 10 is not enough for me when I'm fooling around. I might want to do 20 or 30 before I kind of figure out what I'm doing. So anyway, this is Inkscape, and it's free. It's kind of a few extra steps to do things in it, but boy, it can do some cool stuff. And I haven't even scratched the surface in it. So we have our open. So we want to open this part I've got, and I want floral pattern short side bottom. I want this. And then here's the top here. This is what I did in the process I showed you. I made the aspect ratio of the picture about what I wanted. And then I I got a phone call. I'm going to have to cut here. Hang on. Okay, sorry about that. I had a phone call I had to take. I am back now, and we are opening up our short side bottom in Inkscape. There it is. We're going to say open, and I don't know what most of these options in this program mean, so I just accept the defaults. One of these days, when I have nothing better to do, which may never happen, I'll dig into some of these options and see if I can figure out what they are. Now, one thing weird Inkscape does to me is you can't see it, but anytime I open anything in Inkscape, it moves it over to my second monitor where I have the OBS Studio open to do this recording, and it puts the title bar up off the screen. And the only way I've figured out to really get out of that is to minimize it and then maximize it. So minimize it and then maximize it, and here it is, it's back to normal. So this is my short side bottom. So what I need to do is I need to first make this the correct exact size to fit. I don't want to have to size it in Fusion, because if I have to size it in Fusion, the only way to do it that I've found in Fusion is by clicking and dragging a corner of it. And that is really, really difficult to get an exact fit. Plus, if I then have to do it to a top, now I'm back to where my pattern isn't going to match as well as I like. So what I want to do in here is I want to come to Scale under Transform. And if you don't see this here, there's a way to turn it off. And I think it's up in Object, and Transform will bring this back over here to the right. And I want to change my width and height from 100%. I want to change the percent to millimeters. I'm going to leave Scale Proportionally unchecked. And now I am going to actually type the width in millimeters, or in inches if you're working in inches. Type it in exactly as it is in Fusion. And it shouldn't be hard for you to figure out the size of where you put things in Fusion. If you can go back to the sketch you made, or you can simply bring up the measure button with the I key and measure it. So type this in here, and I'm not going to mess with this one because I already have it correct, but type it in and then say apply and get it to the exact size you'll want it. That way there's no fiddling when we get to Fusion. Now comes the fun part. Now we have to turn it into an SVG. And man, let me tell you, I battled with this for a long time, and I finally found a video on the internet after a couple hours of poking and prodding and searching on the internet, somebody to explain it to me fairly easily. So here's how you do it. You come up to Object, and you come down to, and I may have the wrong button here. Maybe it's under Edit. I'm sorry. I have forgotten which menu that what I'm looking for is in. I'm sorry, it's Path. Jeez. You know, one of the reasons I make videos is because 3 weeks from now, I'm going to forget how to do this. And I'm either going to go through a lot the similar process, or I can just go back and watch my own damn video. So here we go. So Path, and we're going to come to Trace Bitmap. Now, this doesn't look like it does anything at first. Click Trace Bitmap. This screen pops up. I haven't messed with any settings on this screen or in any of the tabs. But the first thing you need to do is click Update. Nope, I'm sorry. The second thing you do is click Update. The first thing you do is click on what you want to trace. And you notice it has little arrows all around it so you can scale it. I don't mess with that at all since I've already sized my part. So now click Update, and now you see in here what it's going to do. And now click OK. Now when I click OK, if you're looking at the image, you'll see a slight change in the image. It'll look a little different. And there it is there. Looks a little darker. So close it. You're done. You have made your SVG, but you're not done yet. What you got to do is you got to get rid of the original JPEG. So the simplest way to do that is to click and drag it away. Now you'll notice I have one of these images down here that's all pixely and looks like crap. And I have one up here that's edges are all sharp. There's no gray pixeling. It's gorgeous. So what we want to do is we want to click that pixely one, and we want to hit our delete key on the keyboard, and boom. Now all we have left is the one we want. So one other thing you can do in this is, by default, if we save it with this right in the center of that outline box, when I import it into Fusion, my grab handle is going to be right in this upper corner. And that means that all those little icons are right where I need to be to see where that corner fits. So I normally save it down around here. And I say File and Save. Now if you save it too far away, if you move this too far away, then your grab handle's way the heck off the screen. So just move it a little bit. And I'm going to say Save As, and it pops up. You notice it wants to save it as an SVG. And I've already done this. Floral Pattern, short side, bottom, SVG. So go ahead and save it. I don't want to overwrite my other one, so I'm just going to cancel it. But you've just made an SVG that perfectly fits the area you're trying to put it in. Go ahead and close Inkscape. And close without saving because I've already saved it. Now we're going to come back to Fusion. Here's our box. So one of the things about an assembly, and one of the reasons you have to break it into two pieces, because if I made that full size for top and bottom, and I put that pattern on, then when I lift the top up, the pattern doesn't move up with the top. It stays locked to whatever part I put it on. And I usually put it on the part that I've grounded. And notice over here, it shows a little thumbtack on the bottom. That's the part that I have grounded that cannot move. And again, that's a joint and assembly thing in Fusion. So let's put that back down. Now I am going to say insert an SVG. I am going to pick my SVG file, and it is Floral Pattern, short side bottom there. And I am going to pick a surface. It's the bottom. And here it is. And let's move it over a little bit. Whoops. Let's move it over so we can see it a little better. There we go. And I need to be right back on the side again. And now, and this is what I did when I made the grab handle directly in the corner. And that's why I'm saying don't do that, because I can't see the corner now. So we want to grab that. We want to put it directly on those lines because it doesn't work well on a fillet. And there you have it. Now I have it. I can say OK. And I can cue to push pull. And now I have all the fun of coming in and clicking all these little pieces. And there was about 75 to 100 for each one I did. And I'm not going to make you sit through it. I'm just going to do a few of them just to show you what the end result looks like. There it is there. And we're going to say 1 millimeter. And we're going to say OK. And let's let it do its thing. And there you see. Whoops, where'd it go? Let's zoom out a little bit. And there it is. There's what I did. And if I were to do the same to the top, I would say once again, insert an SVG and select the file you want. And now I am going to say short side top and open. And I'm going to put it on the top. And it appeared somewhere. There it is down here. Drag it up and notice it is a the perfect size because I had Inkscape size it to millimeters. And you notice it matches up. Oops, it moved when I dropped it. What is it about Fusion that when I let the mouse button go, what I'm holding moves? No other program does that to me but Fusion for some reason. Anyway, we're going to say OK to that. And we're going to hit Q to push pull. And now we're going to click there, there, there. And if you click wrong in Fusion, you can always unclick it. And let's do that one. And oops, what happened there? What happened? I clicked wrong, didn't I? It's doing something weird to me. Oh, I'm clicking on the bottom. That's why. That's dumb. Why am I doing that? And so if you click wrong and you get this where it's all blue, just come back in the center that you don't want raised and click, and then you'll find it'll go back to normal and you can continue what you're doing again. And then 1 millimeter and OK. And there you'll see that little bit I did. You'll see the top and the bottom match. And I can still lift the top up, put it back, and you'll see the other sides I did where I did the whole thing, and I even did the top. I have another one here where I did it all. Let me open that one up and show it to you. Must be that one. Didn't realize I had so many of them. And here's one where I did it all. except for the bottom, of course. I even did the top. And I even did a little motion study in it so I could show to people, hey, this is what it looks like opening and closing. Let me show you that, because motion studies is another thing that's kind of cool that you can do in Fusion. Let me find it here. What did I do with it? I had it up here someplace and now I have lost it. Oh well, wasn't that important anyway. But oh, here it is here. So here's what the motion study looks like. Just a cool little thing you can do to show off what you can make to people. Sometimes it's better than pictures, especially pictures of things that have multiple pieces and you want them to see how it fits together. And here's the finished part. This is what the finished part looks like. It turned out beautiful. We're just amazed at how well it turns out, how well the lid fits, how well the pattern looks. Even though the pattern isn't painted or anything like that, there's always light shining on it from one direction or another, and you get these great shadows on it. And I'm telling you, I'm really pleased with it. It turned out exceptionally well, and once you have the technique down, it works for pretty much anything you want to do. So that's it for this time. If you have any questions or you want me to make a video of something in detail to help you out, let me know. Please like and subscribe if I've helped you out. And keep watching. Good to be back. Hope you guys are still enjoying my videos. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.